Hey everyone, this is Nitro. So this video is a day late, but I'm going to be doing my Nitro setup video for this week. And just a heads up as well that my videos this week will be pretty sparse because I just don't have that much time to play this week and probably next week too. So videos will be generally be delayed, especially new content. I'm going to be using up my stamina, but I'm going to be trying to do that via sweeping or auto battling Anarchies, so there won't be any new content covered at this time, So chapters 11 to 15, all those videos will probably not be done for quite some time, unfortunately. Alright, so with that mentioned, what I have on the screen right now is the SSR gear that I still desperately need, the only SSR gear that I truly want at this point with my account, right? More extreme magic bows, Mimir's war axe, Tenyo's headdress, last rites, and the accessories where you really can't really farm them, but I wanted more Twilight Stars, Juggler plushie, Swordsmith medal, and Apex boots. Okay, so it's, in other words, for me getting gear, anytime I get one of these pieces of equipment, it's cause for celebration at this point. And last week, I did get one. And the one that I got was actually from gambling. When I did 3 helm gambles, I managed to get a Tenyo's headdress. So that was just amazing. It's my 4th one. I desperately need even more of these, so I'm going to pretty much continue doing helmet gambles. Okay. I'm also considering doing armor gambles and actually ignoring the weapons, because at this point, while I do want more extreme magic bows and Mimir's war axes, they're actually not as important as the Tenyo's headdress and last rites, at least in my opinion. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. So the previous week there were 10 SSRs. This current week has 11 SSRs. Okay, but SSR count is not a big deal for me anymore. It's just more ore for me to get enchants and maybe convert it into epic martial spirits. Like more. Don't get me wrong. More SSRs are always useful, but they're not really my priority per se at this point. It's just I need key SSR gear rather than the sheer number of them. Okay. In any case though, so because it was the new month last week, right, I got 3 additional accessories from the monthly accessories and memory shard purchases of accessories, and pretty much all 3 were garbage. I got a Judge's Talisman, which I guess makes up my 3rd Judge's Talisman to level 30. Not that I'll ever level 1 up unless I get 4 of them, so that I have an instant level 50. And then the memory shard purchase accessories were a King's Amulet and Dropnir. So, and then finally the Timeless Trowel gave me yet another Dropnir. So 2 Dropnirs, a King's Amulet, and a Judge's Talisman. None of which are those accessories that I wanted, right? So it's still very, very bad luck on the accessories in general, unfortunately. Nonetheless, there is that Tenyo's headdress, which always helps. And as for the other ones, for the armor gambles, I did get a Giant's Resolve, which makes my 2nd one to level 40. I do want 2 of them at level 50. That way I can have one potentially for Mystery Knight and then one for Deedlit. So that's... So overall, not too bad to get a Giant's Resolve and a Tenyo's headdress, right? As for the joint battles, daily dragon runs, and I guess world events, that's where those 11 SSRs came from. Got a Seal Guardian, and a Goddess Dress, and a Goddess Left Hand, and a Nighthawk on Monday. Right? Keep in mind that those first 3 days, there was still the +1 Secret Realm event. +1 to every daily for Secret Realm events. So there were 3 Dragon dailies for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at that point. Right? So 4 SSRs in one day is still very, very high. Tuesday gave me another Goddess Dress, so more ore, and another Goddess Left Hand. So these 2 Goddess Left Hand are actually okay because it levels me... if I have enough gold, I can now have my 4th level 50 Goddess Left Hand, which I actually need as a side note. I'll mention that once I go to my account, but it's good to get these 2. Yeah. I'll eventually make the 4th level 50 Goddess Left Hand, and yeah, that will be good. Wednesday gave me a Reaper's Breath ore. Thursday had nothing. Okay. Wednesday and Thursday don't have joint battles because the joint battle for those is Bursting Heart Keys and bonding materials, right? Bonding gifts. So I don't list the joint battles for those days. And then Friday gave me, the 2 Dragon Dailies gave me an assault suit. The 2 joint battles gave me an assault headgear. Go figure, right? So whatever, 200 more ore, not gonna complain. Saturday gave me absolutely nothing. And then Sunday gave me a Nighthawk and Frostrend. I also did 2 random accessory box purchases, but got nothing out of those either. Alright, and as for crystals, crystals increased like crazy, okay? So the previous week I started with 35 vouchers and 3,423 crystals. The current week I had, yesterday anyways, on Monday I had 68 vouchers and 8,350 crystals. So that's a 13 voucher increase as well as 3,227 crystal increase, okay? That's just an increase without counting the strategist squad rewards, right? The strategist squad rewards also gave me 20 vouchers and 1,700 crystals. So that's why there's that increase from vouchers from 35 to 68. And that's why my crystal count went from 3,400 to 8,350, right? Because I got the strategist squad rewards, right? Strategist squad is basically content creator. As a content creator, I just get some additional rewards from long games. Okay. But the 13 vouchers, I think a lot of it was like gifts and whatnot, like, gift codes, the 5 vouchers you get with every single major update, the gift code from the newsletter that gives you 2 more vouchers, stuff like that. But the crystal count was still very, very high. I think that part of that was still from the 18 Gate of Fates, where I was clearing new Gates of Fate every single day, right? So, but now I've finished clearing all the Gates of Fate that I have. I don't have any other heroes to do at this point. The only way I can get extra crystals now is from world map of chapters, if new time rifts to get released, stuff like that. Alright, so that's the main things to cover. And last but not least, you guys are gonna laugh about this, but the Shalinka and Elucia banner, the Wings of Vengeance, right? I kept saying I was not going to summon on this banner, but then I always seem to find excuses for me to summon. In the system page, I saw that there was 6 in a row. There was no Shalinka. In addition, there was also some off banners like Juggler and Shuri. So, because I saw this, I was like, you know what? Let's just throw 20 or 30 Trinity vouchers at the banner. I did do that. I threw 20 vouchers at it, and guess what? I got Shalinka. So 20 vouchers for Shalinka is actually pretty good. Okay. Oh, so let me take that back. This 20 vouchers was, we can say this was eliminated. So I actually got a 33 voucher increase without even counting the strategist squad rewards. So once again, the 33 should have come from a lot of gift codes from the 18 Gates of Fate. Remember, I was clearing a character per day, right? Every single character gives you 3 vouchers. So if I cleared, 7 characters, that's 21 additional vouchers, right? So the combination of that, basically I just got a whole bunch of vouchers, long story short. But in any case though, 20 summons for Shalinka is a very, very nice reward to have. I'm not going to do an update of my SSR count at this time. I'll just do it for this week's banner instead. So next week's video, or the summoning video for this week, will cover my SSR rate. It's just not worth doing it for just 20 additional summons. Alright, so now that that's all been covered, I'm just going to jump into my account at this point to talk about it, because things have changed a bit, okay, with the account. So, first things first, okay? With my account, what I really should mention is that several of my heroes have changed. The first one is Deedlit. You can see she is now a mage class hero instead of infantry class. The reason for this is because I realized I was always banning Juggler. Okay? Juggler was always my character that I banned, and I always faced off against Lanius. Infantry Deedlit facing off against Lanius is stupid. So for now, I've changed my Deedlit to a mage class, rather just so that with her Elven Aura, she can launch an attack and actually take out one of Lanius' lives. Okay? So, he still gets to revive, but killing him once is really half the battle. So that's why my Deedlit has been changed to a mage class. And the other interesting thing is, I currently have on her Blue Moon, Tenyo's Robe, Tenyo's Headdress, right? So that when she acts twice, she can provide this buff twice. okay, instead of just once. And finally, a meditation ring to be immune to fixed damage. So I'm running her with this kind of set of gear, and with these kind of stats where she has 260 defense plus 144 defense, so I actually have a very high defense roll, I think. 12% defense increase here, right? So with that, my Deedlit actually can't get assassinated by Zerda, okay? A Shadow Raid Zerda cannot kill my Deedlit. It might be possible for, well, it's definitely possible for a Bloodthirster Zerda to kill my Deedlit, but the Shadow Raid version definitely can't. So this is a very, very nice combo now, you know. And since it's just working out, I'm going to use her like this for some time. So that's one adjustment I made. Instead of the more common infantry Deedlit, I've turned my Deedlit into a mage, and she is working out very, very well. The second adjustment is an enchant adjustment on Lanius. Okay? And if you guys don't know, I mean, different people roll enchants differently, right? Because if you're very high rank in the Apex Arena, you get lots of rare enchant gift packs that you can turn into any kind of SSR scroll you wish, right? So a lot of people use these to buff up all their characters in general, right? I've been using them to buff up my tanks like crazy, okay? So my tanks are kind of deceiving in that sense. For example, my Lanius is 8,124 power. So he has actually just passed the 8,000 mark. Basically my first hero to pretty much past that. You know, technically Bozel, if I give him his faction buff, he passes it, but I never really do. So, but Langrisser is the first one to consistently be over 8,000. Okay, and now if I compare it to a lot of the characters in the ranking page, let's say, I'm actually very close to the top. You know, at this point. Number 9, Nitro Z6S. It has not updated my name. I'll go over that afterwards. But yes, so I'm in this ranking. I'm currently 9th and on the server, and that is actually with my soldiers not having very high hit points either. So the reason for that is because I have insane enchant on the Bloodline Magic armor now. Take a look at this. 15% defense, 11% hit points, 8% magic defense. So a ridiculously tanky enchant roll. I'm so happy I finally got this. I've been rolling like 50 enchants on this armor every single week for like 2 or 3 weeks now, and I finally got it. So huge boost to my Lanius stats, right? This combos with the Fury up tier with another 14% hit points, 11% defense, right? The Overlord's badge is kind of meh by comparison. 5% hit points, 7% attack with 66 attack. So technically I could re-roll this to try to get an even better roll. And finally the Dragon Slayer Gram has 13% attack with 6% hit points. So overall this is an insanely tanky Lanius now. Nearly as max as it can go. You know, the only way I could get this better is if I rolled the Overlord's badge for like attack, hit points, and defense percentage increases. Because I'm not going to assume I can get a Dragon Slayer Gram with 15% attack, you know, 10% hit points and 5% defense. That's just never going to happen. So the only roll I would consider re-rolling now at this point is the Overlord's badge. But at the same time, I don't want to. I want to get a Swordsmith medal to replace this Overlord's badge on my Lanius. So I'm not going to waste scrolls re-rolling this Overlord's badge. As he is right now, he is more than powerful enough for me. Yeah. So insanely powerful Lanius. It is what it is. Juggler is getting up there too at 7729 power. Currently using the Divine Boots with defense and hit point increases. 10% is max, 7% is close to max. Right? Juggler's Gift has a magic defense and hit point increase. Last Rites has a hit points, defense, and magic defense, which is one of the top rolls possible, right? All three as percentages, although none of the percentages are extremely high. And then the Oath of Justice has 6% hit points and 4% defense. So Juggler's stats are very, very high as well. You know, once again, I would want to replace the Divine Boost with a Swordsmith medal most likely, but as he is right now, he's fine too. And yeah. So both of my tanks are getting up there. The main thing is Juggler just needs his Lobster Behemoths fully upgraded. Right? By that I mean they need to be higher hit points so they can actually tank strikes. So both my tanks getting more and more powerful. Deedlit turned into a mage, and Gizaroth, having hit 5 stars recently, has now joined my Apex party. Right? So Tenyo's robe, Tenyo's headdress, Holy Ring, Scepter of Destruction, which is his unique scepter. You can also see he has 15% int with a 7 int increase. So this is just an incredible roll, right? And I've been focusing on some hit points and int, with a bit of defense. And then this is just a Holy Ring with a good amount of hit point increase and some int, right? So in total, this Gizerov has pretty darn good stats and he's in a demon class, which makes the summon constructs quite powerful. So with all those adjustments, right, to my party, having changed it up, I actually ended up removing Diharto in favor of Gizerov. Go figure, right? Diharto is just about to hit 6 stars. He recently got his 3C skill, and I've dumped him from my Apex party. But you know what? It is what it is. You know, it's fine. I'm not really going to complain about that. But with all these adjustments, what has happened is I'm now in Langrisser rank, 1901 points. So it took me a lot of battles. I did 74 battles in total. This is actually more than last season and more than season 2, I think. 74 is actually really high for me. But you know, you guys know I sometimes just fool around and take losses that I really shouldn't. You know, I experiment a lot during my matches, so this could have been much lower if I was more focused on winning, but you know, it is what it is. I enjoyed it overall, and the thing is, if you take a look here, towards the end I really did go on winning streaks, right? For example, what was it? 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins in a row, which really boosted me up. And then, you know, lost a few here and there against some of the top higher ranked players, but got into Langrisser rank. Gizerov was actually incredible in a lot of these fights. You know, he won me a whole bunch of these fights. I really want to do a video covering a lot of these matches, but lack of time. You know. Next time, this is just something I realized, but I'm going to start streaming more often my Apex Arena matches, simply because, you know, if I run out of time like this where I can't do videos, you guys can still watch the live stream and see how I played and what happened. You know, Gizerov was just incredible. He won me so many matches, whether it was the double constructs fighting against the enemies and killing them off, like Gizerov with double constructs. I had Gizerov against Yusuke. Yusuke killed off Gizerov. I had 2 constructs, and the 2 constructs just kept attacking until the enemy Yusuke was killed, for example. You know, that was one match. Another match had me use Gizerov and his summons and so on to block the enemy completely. I formed like a huge line, a huge wall to lock the enemy in poison and force them to burn to death. You know, there were so many interesting strategies that Gizerov allowed me to do. It wasn't so much his damage or even his faction buff, but the fact that he can summon a construct, and when he's killed, another construct is created. That really won me matches. So it was interesting. Definitely a different playstyle. Definitely tons of people underestimate Gizerov, and there were a few times where his faction buff really did make a difference, because I would have, let's say, you know, Gizerov in play and Bozel in play. 2 AoE attackers, Gizerov faction buffs Bozel, so Bozel can bring 2 AoEs as well as sleep, right? You know, I might have had Zerida in play, and then Zerida can get faction buff by Gizerov. Yusuke gets faction buff by Gizerov, so he can bring double attack skills, stuff like that. So there were lots of situations where Gizerov's faction buff ended up being very useful too. Alright, so yeah, those were my hero adjustments, and as I said, it got me into Langrisser rank. So I won't be playing, or probably won't be playing much more of Apex Arena for a while now. So hopefully I'll be able to get that video up about my Apex Arena matches sometime soon. You know. Yeah, I definitely transitioned my Apex party from my assassin team to a more AoE oriented team. Like, I still have 4 assassins in my party: Hiei, Omega, Illustrial, and Zerida. But of those 4, generally speaking, I only played one of the assassins, while I tried to play Bozel and Gizerov as often as possible. And generally speaking, people did let me, because they would rather ban characters like Listel, like Hiei, like Zerida, like Yusuke, right? Juggler. So yeah, it worked out very well for me in the end. long story short, and got me into Langrisser rank pretty easily. So, other than that, current shard farming continues to be Gizaroth, because I want to raise him to 6 stars. Ares, because I want to raise him to at least 5 stars. Well, he's going to go to 6 for sure. But so Gizaroth and Ares are both going to be farmed pretty consistently. And the last slot right now, I'm currently doing Diharto, right? Because I figured I'd finish him off. But this Thursday should be the couples banner. And with the couples banner, I'm going to stop farming up Diharto at that point. So we're going to see what happens with that couples event. I really hope I get Mystery Knight, because that would really help me. But fingers crossed, right? As for Shilinka, who is sitting down here, far below the others, Shilinka is going to be just sitting here for quite some time. I have no plans to build her because I can't afford to. I literally cannot. With Licorice coming at the end of the month, she's going to be the character that I farm up, Licorice. So there's no reason for me to do any Shilinka shards at this time. I do plan on eventually building her, just because I love assassins. Even though she's a pretty telegraphed assassin, I still like her. So I'm probably going to build Shilinka up eventually, and I may have to rely on getting shards from the Diharto Shilinka banner. Right? There is going to be that banner with Shilinka and Diharto. And since my Diharto is at 6 stars, it means I can draw on that banner and get shards of Shilinka. And even if I get Diharto shards, I can trade for shards of Shilinka. So that's all for the good for me. So that would let me get a 5-star Shilinka pretty easily, I think. If not even, and aim for a 6-star Shilinka. So we'll see how that goes with regards to having the crystals and vouchers to summon that far, like, you know, all the way then. But we'll see. You know, I'm hoping I can save up crystals and vouchers to summon multiple times to get copies of her, but you know, you never know. We'll see how that goes. So that's a far away in the future plan for me. So in terms of heroes I have, I'm going to show the hero gallery probably next week as well, because I assume I'm going to get Mystery Knight, right? So currently I am missing Emilia, right? I'm hoping to get Mystery Knight of Mysteries or Mystery Knight. Elucia I don't really plan to get at all, right? And those I think are, oh, and Maya. Right. She is a must get to buff up Ares, and I'll get her when she comes later on. So those are the regular heroes. As the crossover gallery, the heroes that I'm missing at this time is just Yu Yu Hakusho, right? And I have everyone else there. So there's going to be characters that I'm going to be completely missing from here on out. Like, I don't even plan to get Emilia. Okay, flat out. There's no reason for me to get Emilia when it's completely impossible for me to farm up her shards. It's just not going to happen. So Emilia is one of the heroes that, even though I like her design and like her as a character, I'm not going to ever draw for her. If I get her as an off banner, great. If I never get her, that's fine too. Elucia is pretty much in the same case, right? Both characters, you can see, tanks are the characters that I don't care about, right? And then yeah, and then Maya will definitely be picked up. Toguro Brothers was not drawn for because I didn't have any Trinity vouchers at that point, and I don't think it's worth spending Trinity vouchers to get multiple copies of Hiei and so on. So that's why he was skipped. And yeah, so that's my hero gallery. And the final things that I will mention in this video would probably be the training grounds, right? So training ground wise, the cavalry training ground has very low hit points. I mentioned that before. I did do defense and magic defense upgrades, so that's very high. I should probably get some hit point increases here, just a bit, so that the Royal Cavalry and whatnot are tankier. Yeah, I built up this way because my thought was I felt that the defense and magic defense would make it so that these cavalry soldiers are easier to heal up, right? Because this was my thought process, okay? Royal cavalry need to be above 80% hit points to have the damage taken reduction, right? If I boost up the hit points too much, my healing will not raise them above 80% hit points, so they won't get that benefit. Thus, I left hit points low and focused on defense and magic defense instead. I'm probably going to raise the hit points up to 50% anyways and leave it there. So hopefully I can finish off defense and magic defense, raise the hit points to 50%, and then we'll just leave the cavalry training ground like that. That's my eventual goal. There's no rush for these final few upgrades, right? This is not a priority as well at all, you know. Until I see Lanius start dying to ridiculous strikes, I don't see any real need to upgrade this. So it's doing what it needs for now. Flyer and aquatic, by comparison, the lobster behemoths are not doing the tanking they need, so I'm upgrading the hit points in this training ground at this time. So you can see I've been farming up the flyer books, right? And as a result, I have lots of pretty sprays. I also need to farm up some brown essential oils to continue upgrading the hit points, but that's pretty much it. And this one uses crazy shorts with brown essential oil. So it's kind of a balance between getting more books and getting enough brown essential oils. And that's my priority right now. Get my juggler as tanky as he can go. After this is mostly done, I'm probably going to switch over to the Holy and Demon one to get up the hit points and maybe the defense and magic defense. I don't know. Because right now I need this training ground upgraded so that I have more tankier, you know, so that I can use, let's say, the Crystal Warlocks, right, to tank hits, and use the Skeletons to tank hits, right, Skeleton Knights. So, but this is a lower priority at this time, you know. When I get Burning Straps and Dark Necklaces and whatnot, I may do some upgrades here, but at this time, my priority is finish up the Flyer and Aquatic, get Juggler as tanky as he can go, then do Holy and Demon training ground, then I'll probably do Infantry after that. You know, Archer and Assassin will mostly be ignored, same with Lancer. So that's my training ground status. But with regards to this season, I suspect that at most I'll have the Aquatic one and maybe have started the Holy and Demon, you know. Maybe the next season I'll have the Infantry one ready as well. But for now, I expect I can only use Cavalry Soldiers, Flyer and Aquatic Soldiers, and Holy and Demon ones, pretty much. Well, and Archer and Assassin, just because Archers and Assassins can't tank hits anyways. Alright, so that is pretty much everything about my account at this point. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the gambles that I want, right? Because I mentioned how I'm going for headgear and armor. So let's go for those. So headgear, carbon fiber, Twilight helmet, carbon fiber, 300 ore, Azure Legend, assault suit, darn it, Giant's Resolve. Okay, so there were, I guess, 2 armors that I kept. 300 ore here and 2 armors that I keep. You know, I really should be, as a side note, I really should be focusing more resources on epic martial spirits, but I can't resist the gambling. So this is actually okay because I already have a second Azure Legend that I'm kind of building up, so I can feed this one into that one. Right, so that works. As for the Giant's Resolve, this now gives me a level 50, the second level 50 Giant's Resolve, which I may not be using at this time because Deedlit is currently no longer in her infantry class. But having a second one in case I do make Deedlit infantry again is good, right? So I'll keep these for sure. And other than that, I'm gonna turn the other stuff back into ore. So I'm gonna get 400 ore back as a result because I only kept 2 of the 6 items that I just got, 6 pieces of gear. So it was 2 carbon fiber helmets and a Twilight helm, right? Hoping for, you know what, hoping for 2 Tenyos headdresses 2 weeks in a row is kind of crazy, but you have to keep gambling for them. Okay, I actually have a Seal Guardian here, which I'm gonna get rid of as well, and that just gives me some ore that I can use again. Right? So as for what this ore will go into, most likely later this week, I'm going to buy the enchant packs, right? And maybe epic martial spirits. I'll decide at the end of the week which ones I buy. Usually I've been buying 5 enchant packs over epic martial spirits because at the end of the day, rolling for better enchant on your existing gear is probably more important than building new gear, right? Since enchants affect your hero's survivability and stats so much. So right now I prioritize rare enchant gift packs in general. Okay, and yeah, that's the final point I want to go over. This video was actually longer than I thought it would be, so for those who watched to the very end, thank you so much. I hope you found this interesting or useful to you. And as always, Nitro out.